Well, it's snowing here in upstate New York, and it's a perfect day for more decorating. I love decorating when it's snowing out. So today, guys, I am decorating these sleds. I have two of these antique sleds, and I put these out every year, and I love them. I've had them for a long time, and I decorate them differently every year. But this year, I'm going to be mainly decorating the big one, and then the small one's going to be laying, down how it would if you were to be pulling it. And I'm going to be putting some potted poinsettias on that one. And I also have a set of these wooden skis, which I have just stuck up against my wall right here temporarily, but I'm going to be doing something with those as well. So let's get started on the first project. So the first project I'm actually going to do is I'm going to be making a wreath out of more of this garland. Now this is the garland that I've had downstairs boxed up. It's the same garland that I used for the swag on my mailbox. It's the kind of just the cheap garland. Again, I think it was like $10 a strand. I've had these ones for a couple years now. I use them for multiple things, multiple areas that I decorate around my house. But I'm going to be using one to make a wreath this time. So let's get started with that. Alright, so I have this garland, and it's 9 feet of garland. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to wrap it around in the shape of a wreath. So kind of just keep wrapping it around in a loop so that it makes somewhat of a wreath like this. And then once I have it in the shape of a wreath, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, like I did in my other video for my mailbox swag, I'm going to just take a couple of the branches and twist them together so it kind of holds everything in place. This is an easy way to make a wreath if you don't want to buy a wreath. If you already have a wreath, then go ahead and use the wreath that you have. I know you can get inexpensive wreaths for like $5 at Walmart. Just the plain kind of cheapy wreath is what I call them. But if you don't have it, go ahead and make your own out of some garland. And so yeah, I'm just twisting these pieces together to kind of hold it. I haven't really fluffed it out or anything yet, so I can do that after. I basically just wanted to stay holding its shape. Okay, so now that I have it together, this wreath is actually going to go on the front of one of those sleds. So I'm just going to kind of decorate it as I would a wreath normally. I have some of these little picks, and they're the same picks that I used on my mailbox. I have 2 of the frosted red berries, and I have 2 of these like coppery gold colored berries, and both of these came from Hobby Lobby at 60% off. If you guys want to buy Christmas decor, now is the time to do so, because all of the Christmas decor I've seen everywhere is like 50 or 60% off. Joann Fabrics, it's 50% off. Hobby Lobby, it's 60% off. AC Moore, I think, was 50% off. A lot of it's getting really picked through, so definitely go out there and see what you can find. I like to buy a lot this year when it's cheap, because even if I don't use it, I will use it next year. Anyhow, now that I have the tags off of my pieces, and the price for these ones were normally, they were $1.59 a piece, but 60% off that. So that's a pretty good price for these picks. So what I'm going to do with these is, because I don't really need this long stem, but I might use it at some point, I'm actually just going to bend it. I'm going to bend it up so that it's out of the way, and I'm going to probably do that for all of them. And I'm just going to stick some of these berries down in and then wrap a piece of the greenery around it to hold it in place. And I kind of like move the berries and adjust them so that they look nicely. So I'll put one there, and maybe I'll put another one over on this side. So yeah, I'm just gonna add all of these berries to the front of this wreath. All right, now I got all of my berries on the front of my wreath, and I have another, this is actually just left over. There was some flocked greenery on this piece right here that I cut off, and this is what I had left over. So it's some more of these like bright red berries. I'm actually gonna cut these off. So there's 4 more picks here. So I'm gonna cut these off, and I'm gonna also add this to the wreath as well. So I got my 4 pieces, and again, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right in the greenery and then wrap some of these branches around it to hold it in place. So there are those bright red berries. It's starting to look really pretty now. So I have 2 more of these bright red poinsettias that I'm gonna add on here, but I think I'm gonna wait until after I actually attach this to the sled, so that way I can put them where I want. And I also have another one of those bright red bows that I'm gonna put on this as well. So now let's bring this stuff out to my front porch and start decorating on the sled itself. So we are here out on my front porch, and I've put my 2 sleds. I've put one kind of up in the corner right here. That's the tallest one, and then I put the small one going like that across the bottom below it, because that's the one that's going to, I'm going to put some potted poinsettias on it. I have some more of this holly berry garland, which this is the stuff that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and it was again 60% off, and I think it was like $10 normally, so I paid $4 for it. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually just going to string it around, just going to string it around the sled just like that, so that one side hangs a little bit lower than the other side, just like that. And then I'm going to take my wreath that we made out of the garland, and here's that wreath, and I'm actually going to attach this wreath with some twine. So I'm going to just put some twine on the back, and I'm going to attach it right to the front of this sled. Probably, I don't know, I want to be able to see the top of the sled, so I'll probably put it about 1/3 of the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So I added that wreath right onto the front of the sled, and that's what it looks like. So now we're going to take a couple of our poinsettias that are on those clips, whoops, and see, they're on those cool little clips. I like these clips because you can reuse them and move them around. So I'm thinking I'm going to put one closer to the bottom of the wreath, just like that. And then let's see, maybe I'll do 2 on the bottom. Yeah, I think I'll do two somewhat on the bottom, just like that. So there's the bow kind of sitting on the top, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just add a small strand of just white lights, and I'm probably going to just take these lights and just string them up over the top where this holly berry garland is. And that's going to be it for this portion of the decor. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be getting some potted poinsettias, and those are going to sit down here on this sled. So we're heading out in the woods a little bit, and we're going to look for some greenery to put on the front porch. So I've got my clippers, so we're probably going to try to just clip maybe some of this pine here, and then we'll see what we can find out here. Alright, so we trudged out to the woods a little bit, not far, just close to my house, and we grabbed a few different branches of evergreen, and probably gonna just trim up some of this. And I have this little pot in the front of my house that I actually have a little evergreen plant in already, but I'm gonna just stick some of those clippings right in that pot right next to the skis, which I have just propped up against the side of the house. And I think I'm gonna put a big red bow like the one that I made over here on the sled on these skis, or maybe even on top of the, I might do it on top of the lantern. I put a large lantern out here, and then I put a smaller one over there on the sled, and I also bought a couple of poinsettia plants that are going to go out here as soon as I'm done with the greenery. So that is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to actually just take these clippings that I got, and I'll probably just clip like the smaller branches, a few of the smaller branches off, so that I have a stem to stick down into the pot. So I'll do that, and then the smaller branches that I have left, I might put them into like a small little swag of some sort, and maybe stick them in the ribbon, or maybe like put them in like the top of the lantern. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So I stuck a bunch of the evergreen in this pot over here, and I just kind of mixed it up, mixed the different types in the pot. I think there's some pine, some spruce, a little bit of everything that we could find. And I put a poinsettia out here, and right now I'm going to just make a bow, because I think I'm going to put a bow on the top of this lantern. I also stuck some inside the lantern as well. And over here, I did the same thing. I just took one of the longer sticks that I had with the pine cones on it that we found. I stuck that up here next to it. I put some down on top of the sled that I sat the poinsettia on. And I'm going to turn the poinsettia just a little bit. And I also put some in the top of this lantern just to kind of hang out over the top. So now, like I said, I'm just going to do a bow, and I think that's going to be pretty much it for outside. So I'm super happy with how it turned out. Please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and stick around because I have more DIYs coming up before the holidays. Have a great day.